Hi and welcome along to another edition on the Don Robbie channel of the Head to Head. Of course, this week is the Merseyside derby. So you know what, I thought to myself, we've got to get two Scousers in the building to represent their team. Playing at home, of course, this week is Liverpool. So I've got James Redmond representing Liverpool. You guys would have seen him a lot on social media, man.
It's a pleasure to be here, Rob. Thank you very much for getting us on the channel. Really appreciate it,
Great for you. Great for you.
Here to defend the club, here to defend the team.
Here to defend Liverpool.
The name of the show.
Representing Everton is Speedo Mick. You may not recognise him because he ain't got his Speedos on today, but this guy, first of all, before we even start anything, I've got to say, some of the stuff that you've done for charity, brother, has been amazing.
Thanks.
That last walk you did from Land's End to John O'Groats in your Speedos.
In the dead of winter.
In winter.
Yeah, man.
I mean, how are you even here? I thought you was dead after
well,
that.
part of me aren't here. Some of them dropped off.
Good on you, that's amazing.
So yeah, no, that's brilliant, But the charity is over now.
Yeah,
right?
no charity
Because
happening.
this now is about defending your club. Mick, of course, massive Everton fan. And it's Liverpool versus Everton this weekend. First question I'm going to put to you, James, because you're at home, right? Which club truly, and I'm going to ask you both the same question, which club truly represents Liverpool? When you're a Scouser, which club truly represents Liverpool and why?
What's the name of the city, Rob?
Liverpool.
There we go. And what's the name of my team that I'm representing right now? So when you come and talk about who truly represents the Scousers, there's only one team. It's the name of the city in Liverpool Football Club. Can't argue with it.
It's just like, not really very true, is it? Because Everton have got the spirit of the city in the club. It's inside the club. It's inside Goodison Park. It's inside the fans. It's inside the players and the manager, mate. We are the hub, mate, of fucking Liverpool base. Can you swear on this?
You can swear.
Fuck off.
I was going to
Why
ask the
didn't you
same
tell
question.
me that before?
I was going to ask the same question. I was like, shit.
I could have got at least 5 swear words out there. Yeah, so we are, mate, look, Liverpool.
Basically, what he's saying, Rob, is that he's got fans.
All you've done is adopted the name of Liverpool, basically.
So you're saying you've got the same as us, fans and a manager. That's what you're saying. That's your argument for that, why you are more richer in Liverpool.
Say that again.
So you're saying your argument is because you've got fans and a manager is why you're more richer?
No, what I'm saying is the spirit of our club it's completely different from yours. Do you know what I mean?
In what way?
It runs through, mate, because the club runs right through the city of Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? The community. We are literally, you know, supporting everybody in the community, and that's what Everton have done for years. Plus, I mean, we haven't been the best on the football side, but we are the hub of Liverpool, mate. Basically.
You don't think
so?
so?
I definitely don't think so. I don't think there's any proof or evidence to say that. Basically, all you've told me there, Mick, with all due respect, is that you've got fans and you've got a manager and that they're all passionate about their club. There's nothing really to say there why it's direct.
I'm talking about
or
the
why it's
spirit,
directly
mate.
linked.
I'm talking about
the spirit.
You're talking about a little bit more. But your fans and your...
We've actually got history with our spirit. Our fans are well known for getting our team through.
Listen, we've got history, mate. When you were eating rat soup, we were winning titles. We won 9 titles, mate. Do you know what I mean? I know, yeah, but they're still there, and it's still a history, mate. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, you can't turn down and say the history. You know what I mean?
We're even my direct argument. I'm just saying, just because you've got a certain group of fans, we've got probably more Scouse fans than what you
I'm talking about heart, though, mate. I'm talking about proper. I'm talking about proper passion, proper heart.
Proper passions are. In fact,
it's a little bit shallow. It's a little bit shallow, mate.
You're playing the best football that you ever have without the fans. We're playing our worst ever football, and our fans aren't in the stadium. Let's not put 2 and 2 together, Mick. Do you know what I mean? What's more important? What fans are more linked with their club when it comes to a match day?
Who are louder? Who are louder? Which fans are louder?
Oh, it's Liverpool.
Listen,
we're
not there for the glory. We're not there for the glory.
Liverpool have in any fixture.
You are having a laugh, mate. You are having a laugh. Listen, you play. You'll never walk alone off the tannoy, so it's all blag. It's blag.
But what about the other 90 minutes? The whole 90 minutes we carry our team through.
You just keep playing it on a loop. Do you know what I mean? You just keep playing. You do.
Repeat.
You do. You give it a little minute and then you play it again. It's not just the fans that are singing. So that's what
it's the prayer that we say before we go to war. That's what You'll Never Walk Alone is. That's what it is to all of us as fans.
We're going to war this Saturday, mate, and I'm telling you what, we're going to
It's all right, we're going to go to war, and we better not go easy on this.
All right. I like this. I like the vibes of this. You both got great managers, but who's better? Let me start with you, Mick.
All right. Well, we
is
obviously
it Ancelotti or Jurgen Klopp. Both of them, you look at Ancelotti's records, you look at Klopp's records, great records, both managers. Who's the better manager?
Well, of course, you're talking about history again. As far as Ancelotti is concerned, and he's a proven manager, you know what I mean. But he's managed top teams, you know what I mean. And they've already had the players in place for him to win titles and to win cups and stuff. Now he's come to Everton, you know what I mean. We've been struggling for quite a while, and this is going to be his. And this is his first full season, and he's already made a massive...
Yeah, because you're up there. I mean, he has made a big impact.
Mate, we've lost some silly games, we really have, and we could be in the top 4 at the moment. But that could be said about every club, what's happening, because it's a crazy season, the fans aren't there, it is making a difference, do you know what I mean? But as far as Ancelotti is concerned, mate, he's a proven manager, something we haven't had for a long time. You know what I mean? That he can win titles and stuff like that. And he's cool. I'll tell you now, if you just give us a minute. Right, so he's cool, man. He's cool under pressure. He knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? And, he's just with the Tottenham game. You know what I mean? I mean, that was absolute class.
You know what I loved about him in that game when
he blew his bovril.
When he got that FIFA and he blew it.
With the pinky up and everything.
He just blew it.
The Godfather. The Godfather.
Just that Jules confection in the background.
So he's completely opposite from Klopp. He's the opposite. He's cool and he's calm and he's collected. You know what I mean? And he's like, whoa, don't crease me clothes. You know what I mean? So he's saying to Duncan, don't crease me coat and that. You know. But as far as Klopp's concerned, he's excitable and stuff. And he's a proven manager. Of course, they've just won the league. They've won the Champions League as well lately under Klopp. And he's doing he's done great work. But right now, I think there's something happening in Liverpool Football Club in the background. Do you know what I mean? And as far as Klopp's concerned, he's been moaning, about the grass being too long. He's been moaning about the wind blowing. he's been moaning about injuries, and that's the telltale sign to what's been going on inside the club. I think. You know what I mean? Now we stopped doing it. On the TV, he's literally stopped it, and I think because it's having an effect. If he's like that on the camera, then it's going to affect the players. They're going to see that too, and that's what's happening. So we stopped being negative on the TV, but I think something desperate's happening in the dressing room with the likes of Mane and with the likes of Salah. Yeah.
Problems. And Klopp. Or Ancelotti?
Rob, I'll answer the first part. He's right when he says one thing, Mick, when you say that about the players, they're not quite the bestest of mates right now. Let's just say Mane and Salah, they look like they've slept with each other's wives, and there's other players within the squad where there's issues, but when we're talking about who's the better manager, and that's what you've just asked me, the only way I can answer it is by looking at it from a sense, is it perfect right now in Liverpool Football Club? No, it's not. But Jurgen Klopp is going through things that's going to affect some of the things that he says. And also, he's not getting the full backing. He's came out publicly and he said he wants centre-backs, he wants certain signings to improve the depth. Because that was his first objective, improve the starting 11, and then we'll focus on the rest of it. But we won that league, and it just kind of got to a point where we were thinking, well, we won the league now, and we won it by such a margin, we don't need to improve. But that way, Jurgen Klopp making that decision. So when you're talking about a manager, this is the best, and the credit to Carlo Ancelotti for what he's done with Everton, because he's done fantastic. Very, very good manager. But he's took Everton, this is their best season, and this is Liverpool's arguably, well, definitely worst season under Klopp. And we're still above you. Not only that, head-to-head record, Klopp has got a better head-to-head. Not only that, when you actually talk about who probably do better for your team as a manager, you're probably looking at Jurgen Klopp as the perfect man, because that's the type of... It's facts though. When you talk about the way he improves a team, the fact he changes a player, he can make an average player start in the Premier League week in, week out and look class. That's the difference between Jurgen Klopp and Carlo. And you mentioned pressure. I mean, obviously I don't want to go too far back or whatnot, but there's moments where Carlo Ancelotti has fell under pressure, as well as Klopp. But there's one big example in 2005 where he was 3-0 up at half-time, my friend. And then what happened there? That's all I'm saying. So when it comes to this game, I don't think Carlo Ancelotti has got the modern-day resources to compete with Klopp.
Mate, listen, you're talking about two completely different sides. Do you know what I mean? As far as getting the best out of the players that Ancelotti's got, he's already doing that, you know what I mean? He's already getting the best out of the players. You've got you've got top quality, world-class players in your team.
But they weren't when they first joined. They weren't when they first joined, no, Mick.
You're still only 3 points ahead of us. Yep. Do you know what I mean? So we're not there with as far as the signing is concerned. That's going to come on in the next signing. You know what I mean? And I just don't think there's that much difference.
But when you talk about resource, it's not like it's a landslide. Plus Ancelotti's got years on Klopp. But when you're talking about right now in the modern day game, I'd say that Klopp's style of play is more suited than Ancelotti's. It's a more effective way of winning.
Not at the moment, it's not.
Might not be at the second, but you've got all your players fit. We don't. We've got circumstances that's leading to our results.
I know, but you've got top-class players, mate, and he's getting the best.
Defence win you trophies and we haven't got a defence. He's wanted to go out and buy defenders and he hasn't been given the money to do so. That's not Klopp's fault.
Again,
we're asking
you're
who's the
doing
better
the club,
manager, not who's the better club on, which is Liverpool.
Better managers, you've got to handle situations.
You've got to handle situations, and he's got us in top 4 with the... Anyone else loses their 3, not just one first choice centre-back, 2. Gomez, Matip and Van Dijk all out. Yeah. No one else is staying in the top 4 when it's February.
Look at our team, mate, and look where we are.
Right now, in terms of depth, you've got better squad depth than us with the injuries we've got.
That's not true.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You still haven't eclipsed Liverpool and you've got your best team and you've got clearly our most damaged.
On players, this is the interesting one. This season, who's been the better striker? Salah or CalvertLewin?
Who scored more goals? What does a striker do?
Yeah. All round as well. Because the strikers are all round players.
Positioning, creating. Mo Salah's got more assists than CalvertLewin.
I'm talking about improvement wise. I mean, Calvert-Lewin is just flying in here at the moment. Although he hasn't been scoring a lot, he's just scored, hasn't he, in the Tottenham game again. You know what I mean? But I think Calvert-Lewin's flying at the moment under this season, Ancelotti again. He's making a difference to all the players. Do you know what I mean? And as soon as we start getting a few more players in, mate, we're going to be. We are on the march. The Blue Army is on the march at the moment, and they know it as well.
You worried about it?
What do you mean? Am I worried about it? Apparently you won the league after the first 4 games. What happened there? What happened there? Can you tell me
that? We were playing really well.
You were playing really well. You know what I mean? We got that stick for a lot of years. We were always top in December. You know what I mean? We were the December champions, and then we wouldn't maintain it. That was our issue. But it's like when it comes to this situation, Mo Salah, when you compare him to his standards, he's not doing as well. But that's where you've got to kind of be careful about what questions you're asking. Who's better right now?
I'm not being. None of your players
I agree with you, Mick,
because you've lost the spirit, mate. The spirit's gone.
But there's more to it.
Lost the spirit.
They've lost the spirit. Yeah.
What spirit?
Well, Jurgen Klopp has brought the spirit back to Liverpool about winning. Do not stop running for that ball every single second, and we're starting to get that back into our club after many years. Again, against Tottenham, scoring at the last minute, you know what I mean? Against Man U, scoring against the last... It's literally the passion and the fight is what we're bringing back into our club. But Liverpool have lost it.
Would you agree with what Roy Keaton said?
What was that?
He said that Liverpool have made the worst defence of a title that he's ever seen.
Absolutely, mate, yeah.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Chelsea finished 10th, what are you on about? Chelsea won the league and then finished 10th and they never had nowhere near the level of circumstances that we've had to deal with it. No,
you're still using excuses. It is excuses.
Who's the worst title defenders? We're definitely up there because if you look at the point drop off defo, but to say the worst, it's upset. Leicester finished 12th. So I'm just saying, these other teams that have finished, and we haven't even finished the season, but back on Salah and Calvert-Lewin, Salah came in his first season, scored like 40 goals. In his second season, he scored like 20 to 30. Yeah. Now, he's having his worst season at Liverpool, and he's still the top goal scorer in the league. He's still got more assists than a lot of players as well. He's a creative player. He's talked about being selfish. He's been less selfish than players like Mane and that recently. So, He's actually been, without Mo Salah, then we're probably below you. So that's why I've got to put Mo Salah ahead in this argument.
All right, I've got another one for you guys. Goalkeepers. Alisson or Pickford?
I'm going.
Robbie, with all due respect to you, Robbie, I've got mad respect for you as an interviewer, you know, Rob.
I've got to ask this one.
I've got mad respect for you as an interviewer, because you know some of your questions, they stay
this season,
it's boss, it's
Alisson
great for
or
entertainment.
Pickford?
This season, Robbie, in any season or any season in the future, if you ask that question, Alisson or Pickford, there will always only be one answer. And I'll tell you this now, Pickford hasn't even been playing in the last 2 or 3 games when Alisson's been at his worst games in a Liverpool shirt. Before that, Alisson is a integral part to us winning the Champions League. We don't even get out the group stage without Alisson.
No, but this season though, this
season before the past 2-3 games, he was saving us points, Robbie, yeah. Before the past 2 games, which I've said is his
that he lost to those games.
Before that, though, Robbie,
those 2 games he lost to, didn't he?
You can't just focus on 2 games. You've got to focus on the season, as you said. And before that, he was actually saving us points. And with the lack of a Van Dijk in front of him, without Joe Gomez, without Matip, it's actually very impressive what he's done. It's very impressive what Alisson's done. He makes many, even against Leipzig, he made very good saves against Leipzig yesterday. What excuse there I gave you? I've just admitted that he's played poor over the past 2 games.
Van Dijk.
But I'm not trying to use the excuse to that level, but if you lose, I'm just telling you why. Because you mentioned the spirit.
I am talking about spirit.
These things within that leads to that. That's one of the things that led to it. The best centre-back in the league going injured. By your goalkeeper, by the way, which is actually the best thing he's done all season.
You're making an argument here that you don't really need to make, to be honest, because
Alisson's better than Pickford.
Well, you're saying the stuff that I'd be saying right now, because Olsen has been playing better than Pickford.
So there we go.
Pickford.
You can't make an argument for Pickford.
You can't. Really
not even this season. No, but I'm saying, listen, overall,
Pickford's
I know Alisson's better.
Pickford is better than he's been playing, mate. But Olsen's been playing better, you know what I mean? And I can't really argue the point that their goalie's better than ours, even though I'm just buzzing me tits off the way he's been playing lately. Do you know what I mean? I'm just buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing, mate.
Mick, you keep touching on this, right, about excuses. Do you think that's what we're hearing too much of from Liverpool? Because
absolutely,
it has been.
Absolutely.
Listen, Van Dijk's quality, right? Any team's going to miss that. But you know what? A lot of teams have injuries, don't they? A lot of teams sometimes.
The first 3 centre-backs, all of them, no.
No, but I'm saying a lot of teams can sometimes get. I mean, my club, Arsenal, man, over the years. You know, even this season, we brought in Thomas Partey. He's such a great player, but he's literally injured every game, right? So a lot of clubs have to negotiate this. But do you hear Liverpool with too many excuses about injuries?
Absolutely, and that's exactly what's going on, and you can see what's happening. And if Klopp's being that way, then you know that's transcending into the dressing room. Do you know what I mean? They must be able to see it. They must be able to feel it. If you're going to be a manager, don't come on there and start moaning about grass and wind and blocks of ice around people's feet. His feet were cold. Do you know? It's just a little bit nuts. Do you know what I mean?
Too many excuses.
Come on,
it's valid.
I think they're valid. I think we're over
his feet are cold.
For where we are in the league right now, the feet are cold thing, mate. At the end of the day, Jurgen Klopp has never been a manager who enjoys interviews. He's never enjoyed it.
Feet are cold.
He enjoys moaning in interviews.
But did you see the way he said it? He stumbles over the words like it was nothing. We weren't saying it as if, we should have won this game. He said before that statement, they deserve to win. But the only thing is, these things can happen. That's what it weren't an excuse to say,
feet are cold.
I hear what you're saying, Rob. But I don't think he used it as an excuse. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was directly that.
I think he did.
I don't think he.
Or maybe he was laughing at himself. Maybe he was laughing at himself. Maybe because he'd made the statements about the wind, which he was definitely serious about, and the grass, which he was definitely serious about. I think if that's the mentality your manager's coming out with, then it's going to affect.
What about that? But you can't forget about the mentality all before that.
I'm just talking about the mentality. If you come onto the TV, mate, and you have an interview about making excuses up, and he's made excuses up, mate, as far as the wind's blowing. Every day.
You're calling out one thing that he said here. You're ignoring all the others. You're saying too many excuses. That's one that you're calling out.
No, he's just asked. What Robbie's just asked me about. Does it make a difference if somebody's making excuses up? And I'm telling you now that it does. It makes a difference, mate, to your players. You've got to manage. You've got Ancelotti there, for instance, mate. He doesn't make any excuses for the players. He just goes. They never played.
He knows you as a shit.
They never played. No,
Because he
you know,
knows he's a shit. When Carlo Ancelotti is watching your players play football, he genuinely wants to scratch his eyes out. That's why he celebrated like that. That's why he celebrated like that against Tottenham with his cup of tea. Because he was just like, thank fuck for this.
It was Bovril.
So that's what I'm saying. He sees the team, and that's the way he looks at it.
Well, he doesn't want to skate. I've been told that ducks fly upside down past your ground, so they do, because there's not. There's not. Hang on a minute. Ducks fly upside down past your ground because there's nothing worth shitting on. Basically, do you know what I mean?
All right, listen. All the talking will finish this weekend, right? Because this weekend, 5:30 is the game.
Yes, mate.
Liverpool versus Everton. Going to be asked both of you now. What do you think the score is going to be? How confident are you?
Mick, you go first.
All right. Well, I am. Well, obviously, we Everton. Honestly, we come in there with loads of hope every time, and then we get slapped down. But this time, because of the Liverpool's, drop in form, and ours has gone up, I reckon it's going to be a cracker game, and I reckon we're going to win it 2-0. I'm going to say 2-0 because Liverpool ain't scoring at home, mate. They're not scoring at home.
That is, you know what? Because I know they've got a horrendous record against you, but your home record, which has been, I can only put it down to there being no fans, because normally I've been on the end. I've been at Anfield and been on the end of horror results, right, as an Arsenal fan. But he's got a point in it. At home this season, you ain't been great, have you?
We haven't been the same when you compare us to the standards, and actually we've been poor regardless the standards that you compare us to, especially over the past 3 or 4 games. But it's one of them things where we beat you last year with our under-18s.
Oh, I knew you'd come back with that one.
But no. But and who was your manager? Who's the manager? It was Carlo Ancelotti.
I know, but
and he started his first team, and you've lost. Curtis Young
that's
so we are no, Mick, just let me say this thing.
Go on then, go on.
So that's that team. They weren't supposed to beat you on that day, and that was at Anfield. When you talk about this team, it's going to be a better lineup than what started there. You can talk about stats all you want. It's about what happens on the day. And when you talk about when it comes to Everton versus Liverpool, you haven't beat us since we've had Roy Hodgson as manager.
I know, but that's about to change on Saturday, lad.
We'll see if it's about to change, but I disagree that's about to change. And I think even though we've been in terrible home form, I feel like we're going to still get the last laugh against you. 2-1 Liverpool, though.
All right, remember that.
Remember.
All right, so 2-1 Liverpool, 2-0. Mick, listen, thank you guys for coming in, man. You've been both brilliant. Passionate defence of their team. We will find out on Saturday, 5:30 kickoff, Liverpool versus Everton, the Merseyside derby, massive game. You can feel the passion already from these two guys. Check them both out. We're going to put their links in the description. James got a great channel. Mick does brilliant charity work. Even the Liverpool fans appreciate the charity work.
I massively appreciate him.
He does. That's the one time you get a pass.
Yeah.
Right, and don't forget to subscribe to the Don Robbie channel. Thank you.
Where's me Bovril?